Greetings, MBAP 516 Organizational Behavior and Leadership Online students. This is Dr. Jaros with a video introduction for assignment number 5. Assignment number 5 has to do with the topic of organizational change. Change management is an important aspect of a manager and a leader's job. There's an old saying in business that the only constant in business is change. Market conditions, political conditions, social conditions, cultural conditions are always in flux, and therefore leaders of organizations have to be very adaptable and mindful about changes that are occurring and how the organization should respond to them. And on some occasions, be proactive and create change in the marketplace to improve profitability. So there are 3 articles that were assigned. All of these are Harvard Business Review package articles. The first is called Organizational Evolution and Revolution by Greiner. Greiner talks about different stages that organizations go through as they develop. From startups, initially from startups created by entrepreneurs, all the way through to the development of very mature, large, complex, bureaucratic kinds of organizations. And he discusses 5 stages of evolution that he believes firms pass through. More importantly, he describes 5 stages of crisis that organizations often have to pass through to reach the next stage of evolutionary development. He discusses some of the management skills that a leader needs to have in order to successfully navigate those times of crisis to reach the next stage of organizational development. The second article is called Why Good Leaders Make Bad Decisions. This article is more psychological. It's an article that focuses on kind of the mental processes that people experience when they try to make decisions in organizations, and also the feelings, the emotions that can interact with our cognitive or thought processes to result in one decision rather than another. This is an important article because, if we were to boil managerial work down to its essence, I would argue that, managers are first and foremost hired by organizations to make decisions. If you're a manager, you're going to be responsible for making decisions, and you're going to be held accountable for the decisions that you make in terms of whether they turn out to be profitable or not for the organization. So this article talks about some of the processes that our minds go through when making decisions, some of the factors that can distort those decision-making processes, and what we as managers or leaders can do to try to safeguard ourselves against those aspects or elements that might distort our decision-making. And last but not least, there's an article on layoffs and DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Many organizations these days have DEI programs to make sure that all people who work for the organization are valued, regardless of their demographic background. Sometimes, though, these DEI efforts can collide with business situations in which the organization feels the need to implement layoffs, which means, of course, letting people go because economic conditions do not warrant employing so many people. And so the issue here is, how can a firm that has a DEI program, how can it ensure that it remains committed to its DEI goals and objectives during a process where it's not hiring people, but rather is laying people off?